This interview is for information only and should not be considered as investment advice or a recommendation to buy shares in the company featured. Welcome to this Stock Box interview.
Joining us today is David Lenegast, the Executive Chairman of Vinanz plc, following an announcement from the company that the partnership with Luxor announced back in November to upgrade the firmware in order to increase the Bitcoin mining capacity has yielded a 10% increase on the first 18 miners it has been installed on. David, how are you feeling about this?
Mark, thank you very much for the chat. We're very excited about this. This is sort of a very unique scenario for Bitcoin mining, particularly in North America. Luxor have a very bespoke way of changing the software within Bitcoin miners to effectively put them into overdrive and overclock the spinning speed of the computers. And in the first 18 units that they've deployed it into, we're already seeing a 12 to 14% increase in capacity, which means as we roll it out through the entire fleet, we'll end up with 12 to 14% increase across the whole fleet. And what that does is it increases our Bitcoin mining capacity for the same amount of machines by 12 to 14%.
Okay.
It reduces our operating costs and makes us and keeps us in a very low cost jurisdiction from a Bitcoin mining perspective. We're pretty excited about it. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I recall when we spoke before about this partnership with Luxor here, you were talking about the miners you have, which is the S19J, you called them. They have a terahash currently of about 110, and you hope to get this to between 130 to 140. So, I mean, you said there sort of circa 13% increase. Were you hoping for a bit more, really?
No, not really. No, but what we've agreed with Block Labs and Luxor is what we want to do is roll out the overclocking on all of our machines at around about 10 to 15% increase in what we're doing. Make sure that the facility at Block Labs can handle it, because effectively what you're doing is you're actually drawing more power. Typically these units are running at 3.05 kilowatts. Now we're probably up around 3.2 kilowatts. And once it's deployed across the entire fleet of around 300 machines in Canada, then what we'll do is we'll overclock it across the group even more to another notch and get ourselves hopefully another 20 to 30 terahash per machine. And we want to do that by the halving. So yeah, we're very optimistic that that's going to happen.
Okay, so you're still going for that sort of between 130 and 140.
What we want to do is just make sure that the facilities at Block Lab can handle, and the rack space can handle the extra power draw.
Okay, so it's a trial period. Okay, that makes sense. What's the timeline for getting it rolled out across the rest of the 300?
Well, the thing is, you're talking adding in probably another 200 to 300 kilowatts out of the grid to make our machines run faster. So
that's a lot.
They're bringing them on. Yeah, it is a lot. So what they're doing is they're bringing them on in batches of sort of typically 18 to 20. But speaking and communicating with Block Labs this morning, they're of the view that give it another couple of weeks and we should have it deployed across the entire fleet in the facility in Labrador, and then we'll look at overclocking, speed up, further from there.
Okay. How does it work? I mean, that's a lot, 200 to 300 extra kilowatts. Does that raise alarm bells at the grid? Do they have to come and inspect you? Or?
These guys pull tens of megawatts off Quebec Hydro.
Okay.
But you want to make sure that each rack can handle the extra power draw. Typically, these racks can go to about 4 kilowatts, which is why people like Quantum Blockchain, who's saying that they can double the speed of Bitcoin miners. It just never will work because not at the moment, because most data centers anywhere in the world, rack space is sort of limited to 4 kilowatts, not 6 or 7 kilowatts. So you can really only overclock them to the capacity of the rack space.
Yeah, okay. Well, it sounds like things are going as planned. Then a sort of a trial period and rolling out across of the rest of the 300. When it comes to even more miners, I know it's an ambition of yours. How are things looking on expanding the fleet?
Yeah, no, we're negotiating with Luxor on further machines. We're talking to certain facilities in America on where we can put the next cluster. We're sort of also debating, what type of machines we want to move towards as we come up to the halving in April. But we're always looking at when we do the next install and where we do it. So, but right now, Jeremy's in my focus. I'm in Perth at the moment, sort of planning the rollout strategy with him at the moment. Next month and the month after, we're really going to be pushing liquidity of the shares through the US markets now that we've got the OTC QB going. So there's going to be lots of trips to the US. Okay. We would like to see our shares traded on NASDAQ, not just OTC QB. And we're working with a number of merchant banks and corporate bankers on is that possible? And we've got a fairly good pickup on the fact that we're quite unique on what our business model is. So we're pretty excited about where we're going.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. Of course, the halving is coming up fairly swiftly, isn't it? So I'm sure we'll be talking a fair bit before then. But for now, thank you very much for your time. David Lenegast, Executive Chair of Vinanz.
Pleasure.
If you enjoyed this interview, then give us a thumbs up, a like or a retweet. Subscribe to us on YouTube or follow us on Twitter and hit that notification bell to be the first to know when we release new content. There's loads of great content on our website too, across all our programs at stockboxmedia.com. Thank you for watching.